For today's session, it's about pronunciation. It's about engaging pronunciation in our classes. So, as I told you before, we are going to tackle some activities, some techniques. How can we engage pronunciation? How can we teach pronunciation in not in isolation from other classes, but it must be taught integratively um, with other English aspects, or with other classes. Either you teach grammar, you teach vocabulary. How can we engage pronunciation? How can we involve pronunciation and not to teach it in isolation with other aspects of teaching? So by the end of our module, we'll be able to identify features of connected speech. We are going to tackle, we are going to modify or simplify what features of connected speech are and why they are important to know, why they are very important for us as teachers to teach to the students. And we are going to focus on some techniques. How can we raise the learners' awareness about the aspects of pronunciation? How can we make them more aware of the aspects of pronunciation so their pronunciation, their English is better and like seem more natural, not like a robot. And we are going to evaluate different ranges of pronunciation activities. And at the end, we are going to have some activities in which we are going to learn how can we integrate, how can we involve pronunciation with other aspects of language learning in different classes. So our aim today is to learn that pronunciation is not something which is away from classes or from English language teaching, but it must be integrated in our language learning, in our ESL classes. Okay, so while I'm reading this list, let me ask you, in this slide, I've read the outcomes of the module. So how can I read that? How did I read that? How did I read this? So I say, when I read these points, I said just to identify features of connected speech, describe techniques to raise learners' awareness about the aspects of pronunciation, evaluate a range of pronunciation activity, and integrate pronunciation activities with other aspects of language learning. So what do we call this? How can I read, or how did I read these points? What kind of intonation did I use? Can you tell me? Just unmute yourself and speak, please. This is a question for the whole people. Okay. So let me see if someone is raising his hand. Okay. Does anybody raise his hand? Okay, I will say the question in another way, in a simpler way. So I read these points. What about the intonation? What about the pitch of my voice? So I say identify features, describe techniques, evaluate a range of pronunciation, and integrate pronunciation activities with other aspects of language learning. How was my intonation? How was my pitch? How was my voice? Was it going up or was it going down? Just tell me. Please unmute yourself and speak up, please. Can you hear me? Yes, hello guys. Can you hear me? Are you there? Hello? Yes, Miss Dua.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, okay. So did you get my question?
Yes, I think your reading goes up um, from up to down.
Yes,
The
it went
intonation of
from up.
your read.
Yes, it is one pattern of intonation. When my
Yes,
intonation, when my pitch, when my voice goes up, 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 and then it goes down because I'm reading a
yeah,
list. And today, inshallah, we are
Yes.
going to tackle what pronunciation and what intonation is and how we can teach our students to use intonation in speaking. Okay,
Okay.
so it is just like an icebreaker for you. Let's watch this video and tell me what is the aim of the video. What is the aim of this video? Okay, okay, what's the aim of this video? And ask yourself, do we need to improve our English? Do we need to make our English, make our pronunciation better or not? So let's start. Okay, I'm sorry. Just a second. Yes, here is the video. Don't worry, it doesn't work. We do it once again. Okay, I hope it works this time. Okay. Okay, so what's the aim behind this video and why do we need to improve our English pronunciation? Okay.
Mayday, Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Okay, so what's the aim of this video? And do you think that we need to improve our English? Yes, did you watch this person who were talking on the microphone? What mistake did he do? Yes, I'm all ears. Please speak up. Unmute yourself and speak up. And let me see if someone is raising his hand. Okay. Are you there? Hello, guys. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes,
I
yes,
think
right.
we
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we should improve our I think we should improve our English to can communicate well with others.
Yes, to communicate, to convey our messages in the correct way.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Because if we mispronounce different words or other words, we can be misunderstood by others. So we need to improve our English, our pronunciation. We need to pronounce the words in the correct way so we can convey our message in the correct way and we can like receive and send the right message to the people that we are speaking to. Okay.
Yes.
So in your book on page 139, we have some statements. These statements are said by teachers about pronunciation and about pronunciation lessons. So I would like you to go through these sentences and tell me if you agree with them or not. Which one do you agree with and which one you don't agree with? Okay, so in your book, again on page 139, you have some statements said by different teachers, teachers like us. And we want to read these statements and see if they are correct or not. Do you agree with them or not? Do you think the same way or not? Right? So let's go through them just for 1 minute and tell me. Okay, I will see if anybody want to answer. If someone is raising his hand, please go ahead and choose the first statement and tell me your opinion. What do you think? about this statement, number 1, for example? Who is ready to speak? Okay, let me see. We have about 13 people, 13 trainees, 13 perfect teachers are joining in. So I want to hear your voices. Go ahead. Okay. Do you have your books? Are you using them? What about the first sentence? Yes, I'm all ears. The stage is yours.
I agree with number 2 and number 4.
Okay, can you read number 2, Miss Hiba? I think this is Hiba's voice, right?
No, Asma
No.
said.
Okay, sorry for this mistake. Yes, Miss Asma.
From
I have
time
to
to
blame
time,
myself, by the way. I have to blame myself because I I
no,
didn't know your voice. I'm sorry. Yes,
no,
go ahead. What
nothing,
about
nothing,
number 2?
nothing
What do you
bad.
think? What do you think about number 2? Read it and tell us.
From time to time, I play a pronunciation game. The leaders enjoy that, and it makes a change.
Okay, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, perfect. Does anybody of you or does anybody of you play pronunciation games? Have you played pronunciation games before? Just tell me. And what was this game?
About how to read a sentence or how to read the question
How to read a sentence or how to read the question? So do you mean the intonation, your pitch,
and
the
make,
pitch movement?
yes,
Yeah,
intonation and how to make a punctuate.
punctuation.
Yes,
Is it punctuation or pronunciation? Both terms are different.
both, both,
Both. Yes.
both.
Can you give us a clear example of that?
آه، لا لا مش هفتكر الجملة بصراحة.
Okay, just to remember and please tell us after a while. Okay. What about number 1?
Okay.
Do you agree with number 1? Number 1 says this teacher says I don't have time to teach pronunciation. There is too much grammar and vocabulary to get through. Do you agree or not? Okay, I want to hear to the nice voices of you. Yes, I will see if somebody is raising his hand. No one is raising his hand. Remember that your participation is very important to make the session like engaging and interactive. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Number 1. Do you agree with that? Okay. Is there any problem if you unmute yourselves, guys? I think you can unmute yourself and speak up.
I don't agree with number 1. Pronunciation is very important. As a teacher, I should make a balance between grammar, reading, listening, pronunciation,
Okay.
all um, all
Yes. Oh, oh,
aspects of a language.
yes. Thank you. Thank you, Dua. Thank you very much. What about number 3?
Oh,
Thank you. Your addition is
welcome.
highly appreciated. Thank you. What
Welcome.
about number 3? What about number 3? Okay, let me see if anybody is raising his hand. Please raise your hand. Use the virtual hand and unmute yourself to speak. What's going on today? Why you are sleepy like like this today? Okay,
معلش ماتش الأهلي بس شغال.
please forget about this and concentrate on our session. I think most of the men are going to join us after the match, but I think that
Yes.
the woman is playing the same role. Yes. Number 3 says, I don't really feel that confident about teaching pronunciation, so I tend to avoid it. Okay. Have you ever had this
I don't
feeling?
agree.
You don't agree. Have you ever had this feeling that you feel that you are confident, you feel that you are uncertain about teaching a specific aspect of pronunciation, so you avoid that, you neglect teaching pronunciation? Have you ever had this feeling before? Yes.
Sometimes when the classes are absent or the students are يعني absent the weak people, the weak students don't mention to anything I said.
Yes. You mean that you think that pronunciation is not for the weak students or the low level students. Do you agree with that? I don't
No,
think it.
no,
Yeah.
no. I think it's good for them or for all, but they when the students absent, the weak students don't mention to anything, any game, any pronunciation, on any reading. Like now زي دلوقتي كلهم مع الماتش.
Yes, yes, you mean that it's not, they are not interested in sometimes with
Yes,
pronunciation.
yes,
But it's about your feeling as a teacher when you feel that you are confident enough to teach pronunciation. If you are not certain, if you are not sure about yourself when teaching pronunciation, so most of us or some teachers tend to avoid this, tend to neglect the pronunciation part because they think that they are not confident enough, or that they think that it is not important to involve pronunciation in the language class. Okay, anyway, let's go through the other statements. Number 4 says there should be separate lessons to focus on pronunciation. So what this sentence means here is that some teachers think that pronunciation must be taught in an isolated way in separate lessons, and it is very important that learners have correct pronunciation. We think that learners
yes, I
must
agree
have
with this.
correct. Yes, you agree with this. Do you think that we need separate pronunciation lessons? Okay, do you agree?
Me
Okay.
too, I agree with
Yes,
this
yes, we need
statement.
it.
Okay, so these are your opinions at the beginning of the session, and hopefully by the end of our session, your opinions may change. You may think in a different way concerning pronunciation lessons, and if you teach them separately or in an engaging way. Okay, number 5 says, I try to deal with pronunciation, and when it rise, I try to deal with pronunciation as and when it rise. For example, when learners make a mistake or nobody can understand what they are saying. So this teacher thinks that pronunciation should be taught only when it rises, when a student makes a mistake, when some students cannot read the word in the correct way, they cannot read the sentence with the correct sentence stress. In this time, the teacher must teach pronunciation. Do you agree with that or not? Yes. Maybe some of us can agree and some of us disagree because some more, maybe most of us as teachers think that pronunciation is not important, it's not that
That
important. Yes, Mr. Ashraf, do you have an idea?
I agree with this sometimes,
Yes.
not all the time.
Not.
We
Yes,
can
thank you.
we can deal with this to make our student be more attention to our lesson.
Yes, yes, that's good. Okay, so put in your mind, please put these statements in your mind during the whole session and try to evaluate, try to stop and think during and after the session if these statements are still in your minds, if you have another opinion, if you have changed your minds about these statements or not. Okay? So some teachers say that pronunciation is not important like grammar or vocabulary. Some teachers say that pronunciation should be taught only when a mistake or when a problem arises. Other teachers think that pronunciation should be taught separately. So put these ideas, put these perspectives in your minds. Okay? So let us together think about these questions and try to find answers to them. Do you find it difficult to find time to focus on pronunciation in your lessons? Do you have some difficulties? Don't you have the enough time to focus on pronunciation in your lessons? You have to think about that. Do you play pronunciation games? Or do you have any other fun pronunciation activities with your learners? Do you use these games or such amazing games or pronunciation games? And are there any special classes for pronunciation, or is it part of your English lesson? And how you deal with pronunciation in your teaching. So I need you to put these questions in your mind and try to find answers during the whole session, because I think by the end of our session, you're gonna answer these questions. Okay, so what aspects of pronunciation do we teach for our students? What do we teach in pronunciation? Can you tell me? What do we teach in pronunciation to make the students pronounce the words correctly, to make them read the sentence correctly?
I think
Yes,
sounds of letters.
perfect. Sounds. Yes, are sounds different from letters? Let me ask you, are sounds different from letters? How many letters are there in the English alphabet? And how many sounds are there in the English or in the phonemic alphabet, the English phonemic alphabet? Let me call it like this. How many letters are there in the English alphabet? Do you know?
26.
26. Yes, maybe 26. And how many sounds? And are letters and sounds the same?
No, they are not the same.
They are not the same, because we have
Oh,
28 or 26 letters in English, but we have how many sounds? Do you know how many phonemes do we have in English, in the English alphabet, or the phonemic English alphabet? Okay, we will see. So what kind of aspects, what other aspects do we teach when we tackle pronunciation in our classes? It sounds, huh? Do you deal with the stress? Do you teach your students how to stress words? I think so. And we deal with what we call intonation. Do you remember that part? We have tackled this part in the previous session, intonation, and we have talked about the statements and the questions and how intonation patterns are different concerning the statements and the question. So all these are aspects that we must put in our minds when teaching the English classes, especially pronunciation. Also, we need to think about rhythm. Rhythm. Every language has its own music. Like Arabic has its own rhythm, this perfect rhythm that makes the Arabic language like a perfect language and like a music language. Also, English has its own rhythm. And rhythm is about how can we use a combination of stressed and unstressed words in sentences. So some sentences have strong beats, which we call the stressed words, and we have also the weak beats, which we call the unstressed words. So the stressed words and the unstressed words create such a kind of rhythm in our in the language, in the English language. Okay, so there's another aspect of pronunciation that we must focus. And also the phonemic script. Do you know what is the phonemic script? Yes, can Can anybody tell me what is the phonemic script? Yes. Yes, does anybody is raising his hand? I think women are there, but men are busy watching the match. So I want to hear to the male voices, to the female voices, I'm sorry. Do you know the phonemic script?
Yes, Miss
Oh,
Gada.
yes. Let me
I
show
think
you. Yeah, go ahead, please.
it's vowels and consonant sounds.
It's the sounds, either vowel sounds or consonant sounds. Okay, this is the phonemic script. Let me show you something here, which is an interactive phonemic chart. And let me ask you also, do you teach your students this phonemic chart? Do you depend on this chart when teaching pronunciation? I think in sometimes we use these phonemes, we use this phonemic chart to help our students differentiate between different sounds and how can they pronounce these sounds. So let me show you here that as we said, we have 28 letters or 26 letters, but we have 44 phonemes in English. All of them are there as you see them here. These are the phonemes, 44 phonemes in English. So they are divided into vowels and into consonants. They are divided into vowels and into consonants. We have what we call the monophthongs or the single vowels, and we have the diphthongs when two vowels are stringed together to make one sound. This is what we call diphthong. Two vowels are together, so they make what we call diphthong. Okay? And also we have the consonants. Some of them are voiced, some of them are voiced, some of them are voiceless. And can you tell me the difference between the voiced sounds and the unvoiced sounds? Can you tell me? Yes.
Yes,
Yes, go ahead. Who is speaking?
yes, I am Mr. Muhammad Abdul Mohsen. How are you
Yes,
there?
how are you? Nice to have you today, Mr.
I'm good.
Muhammad. Okay.
For the voice sounds, those are the sounds in which we have vibration in our vocal cords, but voiceless sounds without any vibration in our vocal cords.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That's it. Okay, so let me, for example, just tell me one of the voiceless sounds here. Just just refer to one of
Voiceless,
them.
like
Yes.
the sound, for example.
Sa.
The sound,
Yeah. Sa.
yes.
Sa. As you said, our vocal cords don't vibrate when we pronounce the voiceless sounds. Okay, what are the voice sounds? Just give me as an example.
The sound,
The, okay.
the,
The is
the
different from
sound,
sa. The, the. Okay, this is a voice sound because our vocal cords vibrate when we pronounce that sound. So I think we need to focus on this phonemic chart when teaching pronunciation. Of course, we cannot present all these sounds, all these like phonemes at the beginning, especially when we are teaching to beginners, but we can refer to some of them in specific situations. And as long as you present these phonemes, as long as you use this phonemic chart, I think students will be familiar with these sounds, so they learn more and more about how they can pronounce the words in correctly. Okay, as we said, we have 28 letters in English, but we have 44 phonemes in English. And this is why we need to teach our students what we call the phonemic script, or what we call the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the International Phonemic Alphabet. This script, this chart that we have just looked at. Okay? Let me give you an example. For example, here we have like three words, and these words have the same letters O-U-G-H, O-U-G-H, and O-U-G-H. Are these letters pronounced the same? Are these letters pronounced the same? Let us together read
No.
read these
No.
words. Okay.
No.
Yes, no. Can you read this, please? Hiba, I think this
Straw.
is your voice. Is that your voice,
Hello.
Hiba?
Yeah.
Yes, now I am يعني النهارده انا صح النهارده. Okay, يا هبة, please. Read this word,
Straw.
please.
Straw.
Okay. Yes,
Thought.
through, thought,
Thought. Cough.
tough. Do you feel that they are different? Do you find them
Yes.
different? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we see that transcription of each word, we will see that they are different. The first word is
Different. They
through.
different.
Yeah, through,
Thought.
thought,
Cough.
and cough. This is why we need to teach our students the phonemic script or the international phonetic alphabet, because not all the letters are pronounced the same. Okay? So,
Okay.
perfect. Now, in your book, we have like an exercise telling us some classroom phrases, some classroom uh, sentences that we use when teaching pronunciation. So, for example, we use this sentence most often when we teach words, when we teach our students and we want them to pronounce the word correctly. So we say, please listen and repeat, right? Do we use this sentence very often? Listen and repeat, right? So I want them to listen and to repeat. So we make what we call drilling. Listen and repeat. Maybe you say and you ask them to repeat. So listen to me or listen to the audio and repeat. So they make sure, or you make sure as a teacher, that they are pronouncing correctly, right? So in your book, on page 114, you will have some phrases that we use when teaching pronunciation. Okay? Let us together read these sentences and find if we use them often or not, or if they are um, mostly used or not. Okay?
Sorry, Miss
Number
Zubaida,
one,
114 or
one,
140?
I think 114.
No, 140.
I'm sorry, 140. Yes, I'm sorry for this.
So much.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Heba. Thank you for this correction. This is really
لخبطونا بقى
appreciated. Okay,
لخبطونا بقى
okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Ahmed. I'm sorry. Okay, what about number one? Please go ahead, Mr. Ahmed, because I quote you. Number one. Yes. Can you say the sentence?
which
Or
one?
can number one, this one.
Where is this in this word? How many
Yeah.
syllables are there?
No, just
Okay,
one, the first one. Where's the stress in this word? Okay, do you use
good.
this sentence? Do you use this phrase when you teach pronunciation?
Yes.
Yes. So can you answer the question? Where is the stress in this word? Where is the stress in this word? In the word stress?
In the word stress,
Yeah.
S.
S.
I think S.
No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
E. Sorry. Stress. Where is the stress? Stress E.
Yes, this sound stress right? Okay. Can you tell me what are the words that are stressed in this question? You said that this word, the sound is stressed, right? What
Yes.
are This is another question for you, Mr. Ahmed. I know that you are an amazing teacher, and you will answer. Okay. Where is the stress in this word? Where is the stress in the words in this question?
Word.
Word. Okay. Okay. Words.
Okay. I think it's in the sound wa.
It's not the sound. I mean the word as a whole. The entire word. The whole word.
I can't get you.
Okay. Let me say it in another way. We have said that in sentences, in words, we have stress, right? We have primary stress and secondary stress. For example, let
Okay.
me give you an example, for example, to make it like easier for you. If we say the word banana, okay? How many syllables are there?
1, 2, 3.
Okay. And where is the stress here?
The stress. I think it's the second syllable.
Excellent. In the second syllable. Yeah, banana, right? This is the
Yes.
word stress. But also we have the sentence stress. We have also the sentence stress. So where are the words? What are the words stressed in this question? You said the word صح؟ يعني انت قلت كلمة word من الكلمات اللي هي stressed. في كلمات تانية are there any other words which must be stressed?
Stress.
Stress itself. Yeah. Yeah. Where is the stress in this word? طيب, let me ask you, why did we stress these words? Stress and word. Why don't we stress, for example, in, this, the, is, or where?
Because the stress is the meaning, the main word in this question.
Because it is the main word. It's a content word, right? It's a noun because it conveys the meaning. It conveys the meaning. We are going to deal with sentence stress and the weak forms right now. So let's move on to the second sentence in order not to take a longer time. What about number 2? It's number 2. How many syllables are there in this word? How many syllables are there in this word? The word syllables. How many syllables? How many parts? Can you tell me? Yes, Mr. Ashraf. Mr. Ashraf is raising your hand. You are raising your hand.
Three
Okay, Mr. Ashraf.
syllables.
Excellent. 3
Three.
syllables. Thank you. Thank you. Number 2 or number 3. How do you pronounce this word? How do you pronounce this word? This word. Yes. Who can answer this? How can you pronounce
Rhyme.
this word? Huh?
Rhyme.
Is it rhyme?
Yes.
Rhythm.
Rhythm. Yes, rhythm. Rhythm. Excellent.
Rhythm.
Yes. Number 3. Is this question rising or falling? Is this question rising or falling? What's the vowel here? What's the sound here? Can you tell me? Falling. Falling.
Oh.
Oh, yes, it's this sound like this. Oh, is it long or short vowel?
Short vowel?
Is it short?
Short.
Falling, falling. It's a long one.
Long,
Num
long.
Yeah, number 4. What's this sound? What's this sound? What's this sound in here? This sound, this underlined sound. Ow.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's ow. I think it's written like this. Ow. Ow. Yes, I think it's also a long vowel. Is it a mono vowel? Is it a monophthong or diphthong? Is it one vowel or two
Diphthong.
vowel? Diphthong. And what do we mean by diphthong? What do we mean by diphthong? Who can tell me?
Two letter
Two
compound.
vowels together.
Yeah, two vowels together. Two vowels together. In short vowels, your mouth takes one possession. Takes one possession, like ah. But in the diphthongs or the two vowels together, your mouth moves from one vowel to another. So we say ow, ow. If I open the camera, you could see my voice, but actually I cannot open it now. But you can feel, you can try saying this sound and see how can your mouth moves from one vowel to another. Number 5. What about number 5? Listen and repeat. What about this word? What is special about this word? Listen. Listen. What is special about this word? Listen. What about this letter? Is it pronounced or is it silent?
Silent.
T silent.
Yeah,
T silent.
it's T is silent. Welcome, Miss Amira. I like your voice.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a silent letter. We don't pronounce it. We don't pronounce it. Okay. Number 6, repeat after me. What about this sound? Repeat, repeat. Okay, how many syllables are there in this verb? How many syllables?
لا والنبي. Two.
Two. And what is the stressed syllable?
Long E.
Yeah, thank you, Hiba. Long E. This is the stressed one. So what about the unstressed syllable?
Short E.
It's short E. But if we write it in the transcription, is it like this? Should it be like this? Let me write it as possible as I can. Is it like this or is it like this? Repeat. Repeat. So here the sound I is reduced to be a schwa, which is the weakest vowel. Which is the weakest vowel. This is the schwa. Okay? Number 7. How many words can you hear? How many words? What about this sound? How many words? What's this sound called?
A. Where's?
Like in bird, like in learn, right? This is like this. 3, and then like this. Okay? Okay. Right, perfect. Okay, let me focus on number 9. Are these sounds the same or different? What about this sound? What about this sound?
Long A. A. A.
A, yes, A, excellent. This is A. Number 10, is this a vowel or a consonant? What about these sounds which are underlined?
Vowel.
Vowel.
Vowels.
Yes, it's a vowel. Is it vowel or vowel?
Vowel.
Vowel. So what about this sound? Should it be reduced to be a schwa because it is not stressed? يعني الصوت ده لازم ان انا دلوقتي الكلمه هنا مكونه من مقطعين two syllables vowel. So what is the syllable that receive the primary stress? I think the first syllable vowel. So what about the e? So it is short, it is reduced, it is weakened to be a schwa, and the schwa is the most common sound in English, and it is the weakest one. It's the laziest. It's the laziest sound that we use in English, right? Okay, so let's move on and start with the first feature of connected speech, which we call weak forms. Weak forms. I think we will learn more about weak forms in this slide. So what are weak forms, or what are weak forms of words? We have said that in words we have stressed syllables and unstressed syllables. The unstressed syllables are weakened to be like a schwa. But if we have a sentence or a whole sentence, some words are weakened, some words are pronounced in an unstressed words because they have what we call the weak forms. We have the weak forms of the words. So sounds and syllables, what do we mean by weak forms? It means sounds in the syllables that are unstressed in connected speech. So when we speak connectedly, when we speak like a chaining way, so some syllables or some sounds in syllables are unstressed because we are speak naturally. We are speak very fast. So some sounds in these syllables are unstressed. So what is the result when these syllables are unstressed? The vowel sounds in these words are reduced, are shortened, or are weakened to be a short vowel like a schwa, like this symbol. Okay? For example, let me give you an example. The word some, the word some. If we read this word, it will be like this, some, with this sound, some. But if we weaken this word, if we read it in the weak form of the word, we say some. This is the schwa. So this word or the vowel or the sound in this word is weakened or reduced to a short vowel, which is the schwa. Okay? As I asked you before in the previous slide, we said when I asked Mr. Ahmed about, let me go back. Okay, let me go back once again. When I asked Mr. Ahmed about this sentence or about this question, where is the stress in this word? Heba said that the word stress and the word are stressed in this sentence or in this question, but the other words mentioned in the sentence are weakened. So when we say this word, when we say this sentence, we will read it like this. Where is the stress in this word? Where is the stress in this word? So these two words are stressed, but the other words are pronounced in the weak form of these words. Okay, let's go back once again. So what are the words that have strong forms? We have the content words, the most important words in sentences, which convey the meaning, which convey the message. They are the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives, the negative auxiliaries. These are what we call the content words, the words that carry the information in the sentence. But on the other hand, the grammar words or the function words must be in the weak form, because they don't carry any meaning, they don't carry any information, like the articles, the prepositions, the linking words, and the positive auxiliary verbs. Okay, let us together read the sentence. I'd love to go to the cinema and watch a film and relax for some time. So if we read this sentence in a connected speech or in a faster way, so some words must be stressed and other words must be unstressed. And as we agreed together, the stressed words are the verbs like this, the nouns, okay, like this. And if we have adjectives, so these words must receive stress. But what about the other words like I'd, to, the, a, and, for, and some? These words don't convey meaning. So if we say the sentence like this, love, go, cinema, watch, film, relax, sometime. So do you understand anything? I think so, because the message is conveyed here, because you have understood that I'd love to go to the cinema. But if we neglect these words, or if we give them the weakest form of these words, so it's not a problem. So we will read the sentence like this. These words are the strong words, or they receive the stress in the sentence because they are the content words. They convey a meaning, they carry information, but the other words will be in the short or in the weak form of them. Okay? Like this. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? If I say the sentence this way, like a robot, what do you want to do? Every word in a separate way. So each word will be pronounced like with a strong form. But if we say it in a connected speech, like this, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? So do, this is the transcription of the word do, but if it is in the weak form, it will be do. What do you want to do? Okay? And you, if it is strong form, it will be pronounced like this, you. But if it is reduced or said in the weak form of the word, it will be y, y. What do you want to do? Right? And to, if it is pronounced like this, it will be to, but if it is weakened, it will be t. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Right? And the last, the word here, do, it is strong because it's the verb here. It's the verb. So it is different from this. This is an auxiliary verb, a helping verb, which has a weak form because it is not important. It doesn't convey any information. But this word, which is do, which is the same word, it has a strong form because it's the verb. It's one of the most important words in the sentence. Do you get what I say? Okay, anyway, so let's move on to another activity. In your book also you have another activity concerning the weak forms and the strong forms. It's actually on page 142. So what I would like you to go through the dialogue and read it aloud with yourself and decide which words may be stressed and which words may be unstressed or has weak form, which are pronounced with the sounds e or e. Right? Okay. So I want two of you to drill this. I want two of you to read the dialogue and find if some words are stressed and if other words are not stressed or weak or have weak forms. Okay, I'm gonna choose two of you. Who is ready? So I will choose, for example, Rasha and Mr. Ashraf. Rasha and Mr. Ashraf. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, Ms. Gad.
Okay, thank you. Miss Rasha, are you here? Miss Rasha? Miss Rasha? Hello there. Miss Rasha? Okay. Okay, Mr. Ashraf. Okay, let
Yes,
me,
Ms. Gad.
okay, Miss Riham. Are you ready, Miss Riham, to read with Mr. Ashraf? Okay. Yes. Okay, Mr. Ashraf. Okay, shall we
Yes,
drill
Ms. Gad.
together? Okay, you start.
Okay. What time is it?
It's 2:45.
What time shall we leave?
About 4 o'clock before the rush hour. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashraf, for drilling. So let me ask you, what are the stressed words here? Let me ask you, what are the stressed words here? Mr. Ashraf, can you answer?
What time? Time.
Yes,
There is a
time.
stress on time. Time.
Yes, it is stressed time. Right, okay. And the answer, what is the stressed words?
uh,
Three
quarter,
Quarter, okay.
3
And
quarter,
free.
and
3.
Okay.
free.
Yes, thank you. What about the other words? It's a t,
Week.
week. Yeah, excellent. They have weak forms. So instead of saying it's a, we say it's a quarter to 3. And instead of saying 2 3, we say 2 3, 2 3, 2 3. Right. Okay. So this is the answer here in your book. So these words are stressed as you told me. Okay. Okay. Quarter, 3, time, and leave because it's the verb, and 4, clock,
Oh,
rush,
gosh.
an hour. So the other sounds are weakened, as you see here. We use the schwa sound, which is the weakest sound in English, right? This is what we call the weak forms, the weak forms. Okay.
English.
Okay. Now let's move on to another feature of connected speech, which we call assimilation. Does anybody can give me a definition of assimilation? I think we have discussed this term before in the previous sessions. Assimilation. What do we mean by assimilation? Does anybody can anybody answer me? Assimilation. Okay, what do we mean by assimilation? Yes, assimilation, assimilation. Hmm. Has the match finished, by the way,
Yes,
or not? Has it finished yet or not? Yes,
Ms. Gada.
yes, Mr. Ashraf. Do you have an answer?
Uh, yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Assimilation, when we put when sounds in different words change when they are put together in speech.
Yes, when sounds change when they are put together. Yes, it's like in Arabic. It means الإدغام or الإقلاب.
Oh,
الإقلاب.
mm,
We
okay.
flip the.
استيعاب.
Yes, sorry.
استيعاب in Arabic.
No, it's
Clap.
الإقلاب in Arabic. When some sounds are changed to another sound because of the neighboring sounds, because of the sounds next to the word. So let me give you like a simple definition of that. Assimilation means when sounds change to become more similar to the nearby sounds. So the sounds change to become more similar. So remember, assimilation and similar, assimilation and similar. So these sounds change to become more similar, to become the same or quite the same to the nearby sounds, to the next sounds. So we don't have boundaries, we don't have like lines or barriers between the words. These words are connected together. So some sounds at the end of a word or maybe in the same word change to become similar to a nearby sound, like this one. I live in, if I say it in a separate way, I live in Barcelona. I live in Barcelona. So it is like this, in. But if I say it in 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 a connected speech, I will say it, I live in Barcelona. So the N became M. I live in Barcelona. I live in Barcelona. You can practice. Let me hear your voices. I live in Barcelona.
I live in Barcelona.
Yeah, I live in Barcelona. Good. In this sentence, who can read this, please?
He is a good boy.
Yeah, excellent. Perfect. He is a good boy. If it is said like good, so it is good. If it is read separately, it is good. But if it is read in the assimilation, when we assimilate sounds, when we change these sounds to be similar, so it will be good boy. He is a good boy. So it changes according to the nearby sound or the next sound. So there are no boundaries here. ما فيش هنا حواجز بين الكلمات بتتربط ببعضها فبتتغير. تمام. They change according to the nearby sounds. Okay. And let's have another example. Who can read this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I should go.
I should go.
I should go. Yeah, it will be like this. I should go. So should, instead of saying should with the da sound at the end, it will be should go. I should go. Should go. So this is what we call the assimilation. Okay? And just to extend your knowledge about assimilation, here I have given you some rules about assimilation. So when the phoneme ta and da, which are the most sounds that have assimilation in English, ta and da, when these sounds often become bilabial, do you know what is bilabial mean? It is pronounced with the two lips, okay? So bilabial means we use the two lips, the lower lip and the upper lip. So they become bilabial before bilabial consonants like ba, pa, and ma. You can practice. You have the screen and you can practice. I want to hear your voices. Okay, who can read this?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Who is speaking? Let me see. Please raise your
Shayma.
hand. So, yes, Shayma. Yes,
Uh,
Shayma.
he
Okay.
is he is fat boy.
Yeah, excellent. He is a fat boy. Fat boy. What about the
He
T
is the
here?
fat boy.
Yeah, it assimilates
What?
to B. Fat boy. Fat boy. Excellent. What about number 2?
There's 10 men.
Yeah,
There are 10
excellent.
men.
There are 10 men. There are 10 men. It's not 10, it becomes 10 men. There are
10
10 men. 10 men. Excellent. Okay. The second rule says that the na sound can assimilate to ing before ka and ga. Before ka and ga. Do you know why this happens? Do you know why this happens? Yes, because when we articulate, when we pronounce the na sounds before the ka or ga, and when we say ka or ga, what happens to our tongue? So it goes up to the back of our cavity, to the back of our palate. So the two sounds go together to the same place in your mouth, so they are pronounced the same, or they are pronounced like with similar sound. So if we say, who can practice this? Number 1, I think that Miss Dina is with us. Miss Dina, can you read this, Miss Dina? Okay, I think Miss Dina has a problem with the internet or something. So who can read this? Please raise your hand if you want to practice, if you want to share. Miss Heba, okay, Miss Heba, please go ahead.
I have been going out too much.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens to the N? It becomes I've
Nah,
been going. So
been going.
yeah، حاولي يا هبة to connect the two sounds مع بعض. اربطي الكلمتين. I've been going. I've been going
I
out too
have
much.
been going out too much. Been
And don't
going.
excellent Heba, perfect, excellent. You need a star. And try to say these two words contracted. I've because
I've been
contraction.
going out
Yeah,
too much.
excellent Heba. I've been going. What about number 2?
Has been driving his own car.
Yes. Who is speaking?
He is driving his own car.
Yes, he is driving his own car. He is driving his own car. So the N assimilates to the eng. Okay?
Anger.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. There are more rules, so I'm going to I'm going to send these rules to you on the WhatsApp group, so in order not to make it longer for today, but let's move on to another feature of connected speech, which we call elision. I think we have tackled this before, elision. Yes, so elision means when there's disappearance. So it's the disappearance of a sound or more in connected speech, all about connected speech. And this generally happens to make pronunciation complex combination easier. احنا بنعمل elision ده ليه او deletion او omission ده ليه in order to make our pronunciation easier and faster and to seem like a natural, more natural in connected speech. So with elision we have disappearing syllables، يعني بعض المقاطع بتختفي تماما من الكلمة because we elide them, we delete them, we omit them, and sounds are disappearing or some sounds disappear, we elide them or we delete them. Okay, what about the disappearing syllables like the word comfortable? If we say comfortable, they are four syllables, right? We say it like this: comfortable, comfortable, but like this: comfortable, comfortable, comfortable. And remember that the stress is on the first syllable because it is an adjective. But if we try to elide this syllable, it becomes comfortable, comfortable, like this. Practice, please. Read. I want to hear your voices.
Comfortable.
It's not comfortable. 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 This chair is more comfortable. This chair is more comfortable.
Comfortable.
Comfortable. Excellent. Very good. And what about, yeah, let's read this word. Excellent, by the way. Let's read this word. Who can read this?
Restaurant.
Restaurant. Okay, if we read it like this, restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. They are three syllables. So it is like this. Okay, let me show it to you. It will be like this: restaurant, restaurant, right? So, but if we elide this syllable, it will be restaurant, restaurant, restaurant. Okay? And this word, history, history.
History.
Yeah,
History.
yeah. Although there is a O here, history.
History.
Excellent. Well done. Good voices. If we say history, it's okay. It's correct. But if we elide this vowel or this syllable, it becomes history. History.
History.
Okay? Excellent. What about this word?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Chocolate. It's not chocolate. Excellent. What about this one? Very good. Well done. You need applause, by the way. What about this?
Different.
Yeah, excellent. Different. Different. Okay. In these were about let me go back once again, please. One step back. This was about disappearing syllables. But if we say that some sounds disappear, sounds, not syllables, in the same word, like this. Who can read this, by the way?
Friendship.
Excellent. Where is the D? Where is this sound?
Silent.
Yeah, it's not
Disappear.
silent, it's elided. Yeah, excellent. It disappeared. Bravo عليكم. أحسنتم. It becomes different, different, different. I'm sorry, friendship, friendship. Okay, what about this? The same.
Grandfather.
Don't say,
Grandfather.
yeah, don't say grandfather, say grandfather.
No,
Grandfather.
grandfather.
Grandfather. Yeah, because the D here is elided because it is between two consonants. Between two consonants. Do you notice this? Yeah. Okay. So we have like complex cluster consonants. يعني ايه cluster consonant؟ يعني بتبقى فيه أصوات ساكنة مع بعضها، بتعمل cluster كده، بتعمل جروب مع بعضها. فعشان انا اخلي النطق بتاعي simplified, so I need to elide some consonant in these words like this. She acts like a manager. If we read this word act, act, so how many consonants? Act. But we want to make it simpler. We need to simplify these consonants to be, yeah, it will be like this. Acts, acts, acts. She acts like a manager. She acts like a manager. Don't say acts, acts. And the same word here in the word text, text. We say it text. So it is like this, text. So this is what we call the cluster sound, the cluster consonants. شايفين كام صوت؟ كام صوت يعني ساكن؟ الك والس والت مع بعضهم. لما اجي اقراهم هتبقى تقيله قوي، يعني هتبقى very difficult for me to pronounce on my tongue. So I will say text, text, text. Let's read this text. طبعا هي مش هتيجي الا بالبراكتس واننا يعني we read more and more the word until we got these features of connected speech. And I think we need to teach our students how to read and how to use connected speech. Of course, they are not doing it in a natural way because it is not their language. It's not their language, but with practice, with drilling, with modeling by the teacher, they can master, or they can be familiar with these features of connected speech. Okay? Okay. Here, I just give you an example or some examples of how can you integrate, and this is the most important thing, so be focused, please. How can you integrate elision? How can you integrate this feature of connected speech when teaching other language lessons? For example, with the super adjectives, with the superlative adjectives, we have the sound t. The Nile is the longest river in the world. So in this lesson, in this grammar lesson, when you teach your students the superlative adjectives, which ends with the est, so this letter or this sound is elided. So you need to integrate this point. You need to integrate this aspect when you teach the grammar lesson concerning the super adjectives or the superlative adjectives, right? And you need to drill, you need to repeat, you need to ask your students to drill the phrases, to say it more and more until they are familiar, they can pronounce them in the correct way. So this is how can we integrate such kinds of aspects within our language lessons, right? Okay, so in order, let's together move on to another thing, which is the linking and the intrusion. Have you ever heard about linking and intrusion before? I think it's clear for you now. So about linking and intrusion, this is another feature of connected speech. And what we mean by linking and intrusion is when two words are set together, especially when they have vowels at the end of the first word and another vowel at the first sound of the second word. I mean like this, see off, right? So what do we hear? That there's an extra sound is added between them to make it easier to pronounce and to make it more natural to say. So let's first start with the words that ending with unrounded sound. Unrounded sounds means when your lips are not in the round position, like see, say, and be. So if this word is followed by another word which starts with a vowel like of or off, it will be like this. Is it see off? Shall I pronounce it like this? See off or see off? This is the extra sound. Yeah sound. So remember, when words end with unrounded sounds, when words ended with unrounded sounds and we have another sound, another word starts with a vowel, so the ya sound is intruded or يعني added in between the two words. So it will be see off, see off. If I say see it, I will say see it. Say it, please. Say it, please. Yeah, say it. This sound, it's intruded here, or it is put. Okay. Be in. I won't say like this. Be in. No, I will say it like this. Be in. Be in home. Be in school. Be in. Be in group. Okay. Remember this. Who can practice, by the way? I want to hear your voices, because when I hear them, I feel that you are following me and you are like you get what I say.
Bien.
Yeah,
Bien.
Asma. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. That's a picture تاني.
Okay,
Bien. Tiet.
good.
Tiet. Tiet. Tee off.
Say it. Excellent. Well done. Excellent. So let's move to another thing about intrusion and linking. When words ending with rounded sounds. لما الكلمة بتنتهي بأصوات بيكون اللبس بتاعتي takes the round sound. So what is added here? What is added here? The wa sound. Let's us together see the examples. Do,
تعالى يا حودة قول.
do. Leave Huda today. Leave Huda now and be with me. Okay? Do and now and go. So these words end with rounded sounds. Do, now, and go. So if it is followed by words which starts with a vowel letter, like it, how can we say this? Do and it in a linked way. Can you say that?
Do it.
Do it.
Excellent. Well done. Do it. Yeah, it will be do it. Can you see this? Do it. Okay. From now on, shall I say it like this? No.
Now on.
Now
Now on. From now on. Well done. Okay. What about the last word?
Go
Go
out.
out.
Excellent. Go out. Go out. Go out. Okay. So how many sounds have we learned so far? How many sounds or extra sounds are added that we have learned so far? ايه هي الاصوات اللي احنا حطيناها دلوقتي اللي اتحطت بين الكلمات؟
Wa.
و and و
Yeah.
and yeah, excellent. So let's move on to another thing. Okay, so words ends with the schwa or a or o. The ra is added. The ra is added. If we say China, China, so it ends with a schwa. China, China. Spa, so it ends with a. Law, law, it ends with o, the long o. So if we say China is the biggest country, for example, shall we say it like this? China is. Which sound is added? Which sound is intruded here? Ra. It will be, who can practice? China is. China is the biggest country in the world. Or China is one of the the biggest countries in the world. It will be like this. So the R is intruded here. Spine. When we say this hotel has a spa in the first floor or on the last floor, we will say like this. sparring. And low. If we say low and order, we will say it like this. Lower and order. Lower and order. طبعا الحروف دي او الاصوات دي احنا مش بنسمعها قد كده لان هي بتبقى يعني حاجه بسيطه جدا لكن بنستخدمها اكتر مع الconnected speech when our speech is connected these sounds are intruded, these extra sounds are put within the words. Okay, so now how many features have we learned about until now? Can you name them? Can you name them? How many features till now? Okay, let me see if anyone is raising his hand. Okay, how many features have we learned so far now? How many features have we learned? Can we name them?
5.
5. Can you name them?
5.
Can you name them, please? I don't say the sounds. I said the aspects of connected speech. يعني ايه هي الحاجات اللي احنا اتكلمنا عنها وقلنا ان هي بتخص connected speech.
Assimilation.
Assimilation.
Stressed and weak.
Sorry?
No, me.
Stressed and weak.
Yeah, weak forms and stressed forms. Excellent.
Elision.
Elision. Very good, Asma.
And links.
Linking
Links.
and
Linking and intrusion.
linking and intrusion. Very good, Dua. And very good, Asma, by the way.
Thanks.
And Russia. Russia was saying something. What did you say, Russia?
Assimilation.
Assimilation. Yes, perfect. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Okay. So this is an activity in your book. I think also it's on page 140, I think, or 142. Do you have the book? So I want two of you to read this dialogue and tell me where is the linking here, or where is the internet, the intrusion here. Let me say do something before. We have done this.
142.
Yeah, thank you for the announcement. 142. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let me do something by the way. I'm going to hide this and go here and make it like a draggable and go back to the slideshow and say yes. Okay, so who can read this? I want Rasha and Asma because they are the most brilliant teachers this session. Rasha and Asma. Okay, are you ready?
What we will do?
What did
You will read. You will practice, and the other participants will say where are the linking here? Where are the intrusion here? In which words? Okay. So be careful when reading. Yes, Rasha, you are A, and Asma, you are B.
What did you have for lunch?
A tomato and cheese sandwich, an apple and a beer of chocolate.
Yeah, and a bar of chocolate. Okay. Okay, Asma, can you read the question again?
What do you have for lunch?
Say it again.
What did you have? What did you have for lunch?
What did you have for lunch? Try to weaken these function words. حاولي كده ترققي او تضعفي الكلمات اللي احنا قلنا عليها اللي هي الفانكشن words اللي هي زي البروناونز وزي الهيلبينج verb. حاولي try it again once more.
What did you have for lunch?
Yeah, exactly. What did you have for lunch? Okay. Yes, your bear.
I say B.
Yeah, you say again.
Tomato. A or P?
B, yeah.
A tomato and cheese sandwich. An apple
Yes.
and
Sound.
a bar of chocolate.
And a bar of chocolate. Okay. What about these two words? Can you read these two words linked together? Tomato and. Can you link them? Let me hear.
A tomato and cheese
A
sandwich.
tomato. Yeah, a tomato and. A
And
tomato and.
cheese.
Yeah, a
Yes.
tomato and.
A tomato and cheese.
طيب هل في هنا sounds أو أصوات اتحطت ما بين كلمة tomato وأند؟ قولي لي. Can you tell me?
Wa.
No, no, I think
Excellent.
no.
Who said wa? No, who said
Right.
wa? Who said wa? Yeah, there is wa here. A tomato and. A tomato and, because the word here ends with a rounded sound and it is followed by a word that starts with a vowel, so it will be said like this. Tomato and. Tomato and. Okay? Can you see this? Tomato and.
Tomato and cheese.
And cheese sandwich, an apple and a bar of chocolate. Right? Try to practice. It needs more practice. Practice makes perfect.
Tomato and cheese sandwich and apple and a pear
Is
of
it
chocolate.
sandwich? Is it sandwich? What happens to the letter D, the
No.
sound D? Huh? What
Sandwich.
happens to
Sandwich.
sandwich? What
Sandwich.
happens here? Just tell me what happens here.
Disappear.
That
It disappear. What do we mean by disappearance? What's the term? ايه الكلمة اللي بنقولها لما بنقول ان الأصوات دي اختفت؟
Illusion.
Hmm. Illusion. Excellent. Illusion. No, it's illusion.
Illusion.
It's illusion. Yeah, right? It's illusion. Okay. I think we have discussed the intonation in the previous session, and we have said that we have some patterns of intonation, the following intonation and the rising intonation. And we have said that the following intonation is used with the questions, the statements, the commands, and the question tags when we don't have when we don't want to have an answer, and we with the exclamation. I don't want to repeat myself. And we have said that the rising intonation is used with a yes no question, so you can practice. You can practice. You have the sentences on the screen here, and you can practice the intonation. Go ahead and feel free to say.
Where is the park? Where is park?
Where is the park?
Where is the park?
Shaima, yes, go ahead, ya Shaima. Okay.
Uh, whose book is this?
Whose book is this? Who? Yes, good. Whose
Whose
book is
book is
this?
this?
Excellent. The intonation goes up or falls down?
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Right, so it falls. The intonation is falling.
Mom wants to buy this dress.
Yeah. Mom wants to buy this dress. My mom wants to buy this dress. Okay.
Leave them on the
Leave them
desk.
on the desk.
Yeah, it's a command. It's an order. It's an imperative sentence. Leave them on the desk. Leave them on the desk. Right? Question tag.
He thinks he's smart. Doesn't
He thinks he is smart, doesn't he? Because I don't want to add to have an answer here, so it goes down, right? Okay. With the yes no
What's
question.
a beautiful girl?
What a beautiful
What's a
girl.
beautiful girl?
What a beautiful girl. Very good. Excellent.
What's
is
a
a
That
perfect
is a
girl?
perfect gift.
That's the perfect gift.
The perfect gift.
Excellent.
That's the perfect gift.
That's a perfect gift. That's a perfect gift. Okay, the rising.
Do you like your new shirt?
Excellent. Thank you. That's a very nice voice. Very expressive, by the way. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Go ahead, please.
Will she agree?
Yeah, excellent.
Are you a teacher?
Are you a teacher? Yeah. Are you a teacher? Yes, good. Okay. Here is another pattern. Okay, rising and falling. Rising and falling. When we have a list like this, when we have a list, so our intonation goes up, 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 and then down. Who can read this sentence, please? Who can read this, please?
She bought bread. She bought bread, meat, and apples. She she bought bread, meat, and apples.
Yes, she bought bread, meat, and apples. She bought bread, meat, and apples. Yes, perfect.
I have a dress, a shirt, and a hat. I have a dress, a
I have a
shirt,
dress
hat.
and a hat. Okay, I have a dress, a shirt, and a hat.
and a
Okay,
hat.
Would you like
and a
to
hat.
have
Would you
tea or
like to
milk?
have tea or milk?
Would you like to have tea or milk? Tea or milk?
Or milk?
Excellent, well done. Okay, when you are
Do you
uncertain,
think it's very
it's valid. Do you think it's
Valid.
valid?
I think.
Yeah.
Should
So when
we
you are
report what
uncertain,
happened?
yes. So when we are uncertain about things, so our question goes from falling
Falling, raise.
intonation to rising intonation. So how many patterns have we learned? How many patterns? Just tell me. Hmm. Who can remember? So we said that falling intonation, rising intonation,
Rising intonation.
yes,
two?
right.
Only two.
They are four. They are four.
Four.
Yes. Do you remember falling
Rising
intonation?
four.
Yes. Falling intonation, rising intonation, and rising, falling, then falling, rising.
Right.
Four intonation. Okay.
Four.
Yes. So I think that intonation is very important now because it's very important in communication, and also it focuses on how we say the sentence and how we convey the message. So intonation is also about the feelings, how the speaker feels when he says a sentence. For example, we can say one sentence in different ways, in different intonation, according to our emotions. For example, when we say it's raining today, it's raining today. And if I say it's raining today, so what about my feeling in the first sentence? It conveys that I'm happy. It's raining today. I like rain, right? It's raining today, so I don't like the rain. So it is related to it. It is to do with emotions of the speaker. Okay, and of course it highlights the aspects of the grammatical structure because the intonation differs from a statement to a question, right? So when you teach questions, for example, you need to focus on intonation. You need to raise the intonation here in this lesson. And when we teach the students the questions, so you have to pay their attention to the intonation here. Is that questions, we have different intonations in questions. If they are WH questions, so they receive falling intonation, and if we have yes no question, they receive a rising intonation. So this is how we can integrate intonation or aspects of connected speech in our English lessons, right? Okay. Okay, so I will um, so I would like you to have a look at this just for 30 seconds. And read to learn how you can integrate intonation with your language lessons? Okay. Okay, perfect. So this is the last partition, this is the last part of our session today. We are going to have some activities like games or maybe like activities or dialogues in which we are going to learn as teachers how we can integrate pronunciation in other language lessons. But before we do this, let's have some fun with tongue twister. Have you ever used tongue twisters in the class? Have you ever used tongue twisters?
Just once.
Just once. And do you find that
Hmm.
it is a great way to make the students' pronunciation better?
It's nice. It's funny
It's
because
fun.
they struggle to say.
They
Yes.
like to say it and they like to repeat it because it makes them laugh. So it's like a
Oh,
great way,
yes.
or yeah, it's a good
Make
way
them
or a fun way to
make them happy.
practice. Yeah, it makes them happy. Excellent, perfect. And I think it helps them to improve their accuracy, their fluency, and it also can help them to improve their accents and maybe the stress, maybe the intonation, the sounds, everything about pronunciation. يعني tongue twister دي مش مجرد ان هي fun, but it teaches students like different sounds, different vowels, and so on, as we are going to see. So who can read this? Who can read this?
Four fine fresh fish for you. Four
Yes.
For
fine
fun,
fresh fish
fresh
for you.
fish for you.
Okay, excellent. Who can say it quicker, more يعني a lot quicker?
Ghada?
For
For
fine,
fun,
What
for
time
fun,
fish?
fish for you. For
Four
fun,
fine fresh for
fish
Four
for
you.
you.
fine fish for you.
for fine fresh fish. You
For you.
Yes, everyone tries it.
أغلب
Okay, go
fun.
ahead.
Four fine fresh fish for you.
Four fine fresh fish for you. Four fine fresh fish for you. Okay,
Four fine
perfect.
fresh fish for you. Four fine fresh fish.
Okay, the next one is uh, a bit more difficult. Can you read this?
Betty Butter had some butter, but she said
Betty
this
Butter.
butter's bitter. If I pick this bitter
If I
butter,
take bitter butter,
it would make my
it
butter
would
bitter.
make my butter better. So she bought a bit of butter, butter than her bitter butter, and she baked it in her butter, and the butter was not bitter.
Yes, excellent, excellent, very good, well done. Okay, do you know the word like which word I want to ask? Butter. What do we mean by butter? This one.
زبدة.
لا لا, it's not زبدة. This one.
ما
This is zibda, butter. This is the butter. This substance we use in cooking. But what about batter? Can you check? You can check, by the way. Butter. Until you check and you get the meaning, who can read it once? Once more. I want someone to read. Betty Butter had some butter, but she said this butter's better. If I bake this better butter, she would make my butter better. So she bought a bit of butter, better than her
The
better
point.
butter.
Betty Butter had some butter, but she said this butter's better. If I bake this better butter, it would make my butter better. So she bought a bite of butter, better than her bitter butter, and she baked it in her butter, and the butter was not bitter.
Yes, excellent يا هبة. Very good.
It
So
means
Thank you.
good, better.
not good.
it's not
لاذع
good.
أو مر.
Bitter means لاذع or more or sour, bitter. When something is bitter,
Sour,
it's not sweet. Yeah, it's
sour.
sour. Thank you. Thank you.
Sour.
But
ماشي.
yeah,
Thanks.
sour. But what about batter? Batter. It is like a dough. You know the dough? It's the mix of water, flour,
Hit.
starch.
Hit.
العجينة. العجينة. Butter
Hit.
means yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, as teachers, what does a tongue twister teach a student? Hmm. What does a tongue twister teach them? Why do we teach or why do we give them tongue twisters? Is it only to have fun? Hmm.
learn pronunciation.
Learn pronunciation. Okay. So if we have a tongue twister like this, bitty, butter and better. So we have, yes, we have different sounds here. B and bo and a. So you can have a chance here. You can take the chance to teach the students different sounds. B, bo, ba, and e. So it differs, and you have a good opportunity to teach them that the sounds are different. They are pronounced, they are articulated differently, right? Okay. Now let's move on to another activity where we can integrate pronunciation. And for example, we have like a game. It is between two players, player A and player B. So what does player A say? Player A say one syllable word. يعني واحد هيقول كلمة just consists of one syllable, and B or the other pair or the mate or the friend has to reply with a word that rhymes with the first word. Then B begins with a new syllable word, and A must think of a rhyming word. When a player can't find a rhyme, so their opponent wins a point. Do you get the activity? It's called word tennis because the goal goes from one side to another. The sound goes from side A to side B. Okay, this way goes in two ways, in both ways. So who wants to play this game? So you start with a word, and your partner will say a word that has the same sound or that rhyme with the same sound. Okay, and then B starts with a new word, and then A must think of a rhyming word that rhymes with B's word, with A's word. Okay, like this. For example, A says boat, B says coat, B says seat, and A says meat. Okay. If you don't know, if you can't find a word which is rhyming, so the other partner wins a point. Right? Try to play it. Who is ready to play? Mr. Muhammad Abdul Mohsen is raising your hand. Okay, are you ready, Mr. Muhammad, to play? And Asma, are you ready?
Cat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Mr. Muhammad, you are A, and
She said cat.
Asma, you are B. Okay. ماشي. Okay, Asma, you started.
I
No
Cat.
problem.
Hmm.
She said what?
Cat.
Cat mat. Mat.
Hat.
Hello, Matt. I said Matt.
like hat. I said hat.
Oh, hat. Hat. I'm sorry. I'm driving والله. Sad.
Okay, thank you for your
Sad.
effort, please, Mohammed.
والله يعني الحمد
I
لله.
I really appreciate that, wallahi. I really appreciate your valuable time.
الله يخليك.
Bat.
Okay. Bat. She said bat.
Fat. Fat.
Fat. Okay.
Okay,
Cat. Bat. B-A-T. Bat.
Bat.
rat. Okay, you can
Rat.
change.
Thanks, Miss Ghada.
You can change the
Fat.
word, but you change the
We
rhyme.
can
Change the
change.
rhyme. You
Okay.
can change. Yes.
Okay.
I can change or she because she's A. Yeah.
Okay.
As you wish, mister. As you wish.
Okay. I'll change it for an easier one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I will change it to drive.
What?
Drive.
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 Alive.
Who said
I said
arrive?
Yes.
arrive.
Me,
Okay.
Miss Noha.
Noah. Excellent, ya Noah. Okay. So Miss Asma, you loses the
I
point.
out.
You are out. Yes. So this is how you can play the game. This is what we call the word tennis. The word tennis. This is يعني like an activity that you can use to integrate pronunciation or to improve pronunciation and have fun at the same time. Okay. So this activity, of course, practice rhyming burrs, and this activity can be used to review vocabulary, focusing on the pronunciation of vowel sounds. So you can use it to focus on vowel sounds which you teach in the class. Okay. Like in our books in the Connect word in the Connect books we have some sections at the end of each unit which teaches the vowels, right? Do you remember this? You have these lessons, I think so. Like boat, coat, and so on. So it teaches the same teaches words
Also the
with
stories. The stories. Most of the time we have rhyming words included in the stories together.
excellent, well done. And in poems as well. In poems, right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. As we said in stories, in poems, we have also some pronunciation aspects, some pronunciation activities that we can use when teaching these poems or these stories. So a limerick, this is another activity. It's called a limerick, and a limerick means it's like a 5-line poem. It's a poem consists of 5 lines that has one stanza. It has one stanza rhyming in this way: A, B, B, and A. So it has 5 lines. The first, the second, and the last line rhymes together. Okay, excuse me, I would like to correct something. Just a minute. Okay. So in the limerick, it's a poem that has 5 lines and it consists of only one stanza rhyming like this: A, B, B, and A. So
On page
as
146.
thank you for the announcement. Thank you very much. So can you see the rhyming here? Niger, tiger, or Niger, tiger, and tiger. And these 2 lines rhyme together right inside. So it is A, B, B, and A. This is the rhyme scheme of a limerick. And it is usually of 5 lines. It is usually humorous, comedic, and it offers like a story. So let's read this limerick together. I will read this for you. There was a young lady from Niger who smiled as she rode on a tiger. They returned from the ride with the lady inside and a smile on the face of the tiger. Right? طيب احنا لما هنقرا الليمريك دي او البويم دي هقول tiger and Niger رغم ان كلمة Niger هنا is pronounced Niger. The correct pronunciation is Niger. But I changed this in order to make this rhyming scheme or this rhyming sounds. Okay? So what does this game or what does this activity teach us? It teaches us rhythm. It's also about connected speech and also about weak forms, stress, individual sounds, chants. Also, it is like a song, it's fun, and it is a memorable way to practice all aspects of pronunciation. So you can teach here the rhythm, you can teach the connected speech, you can teach the weak forms, you can teach the like the intonation. Also, every aspect of connected speech you can teach here in a limerick. Right? Good. So this activity is about a song. So let's listen to the song and you tell me what does a song teach us concerning the pronunciation. Right? Okay. Can you hear?
A sailor went to sea. A sailor went to sea.
Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound? Good. Okay.
Yes.
A sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Another sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Woo-hoo!
Now listen to the song and try to say it once again with the lyrics. Okay?
Let's listen.
Try to say with the song and sing along.
A sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Another sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Woo-hoo!
Okay, this time you are going to sing along with the music, right? Try to remember.
Sing along.
A sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all what he could see was the bottom of the sea, blue sea. Another sailor went to see what he could see. But what he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. And this time you are going to sing without any lyrics, without any words, right?
Let's sing.
A sailor went to sea, to see what he could see. But all what he could see was the bottom of the blue sea.
Another
he could see what the bottom of the blue see. Okay, did you
جبت
enjoy the
الاندنج
song?
ماليش دعوه.
Yes. Who can sing the song? Who can sing the song? Who can remember? A
هي
sailor,
اسيلور مش عارفه ايه
a
سي سي
sailor
سي
went to
went
to see what he could see, but all what he could see was the bottom of the blue sea. So
another مش عارفه ايه كده سي سي سي.
yes, you can hear. You can listen again.
A sailor went to sea to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Another sailor went to sea to see what he could see. But all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea.
Okay, this is the song. So what does the song teach? Okay. Can you tell me what does the song
The,
practice
the difference
concerning?
between C and C?
Yeah, different between C and C. What do we call this? Two sounds or two words that pronounce it the same, but they have
But
different
the meaning
sounds.
is different.
Huh? Homophones. Excellent. Homophones. And yes, excellent. Excellent, Mr. Muhammad. Monophthongs or homophones. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so it can teach the students the rhythm, the connected speech, the weak forms, and also the song is like a fun way and a memorable way to practice all aspects of pronunciation. So it is a good way to teach students songs in order to enjoy and practice pronunciation as well. Okay, good, perfect. Of course, we have taken an activity like this, which is about the sentence pattern when the words are stressed, when different syllables are stressed. I'm gonna skip this in order not to make this longer for you. And I think this will be the last activity for today's session. You are going to say these sentences and try to underline the word that you hear. Okay, so I'm going to read the first word. I'm going to read the first sentence and you tell me which word that I have read. It was the biggest it was the biggest ship I've ever seen. It was the biggest ship I've ever seen. So what's the word here?
سفينه SHIP.
Ship. Yes, ship. It was the biggest ship I've ever seen. Number 2, they went to buy beans. They went to buy beans.
Full beans الأولى.
BEANS.
Yes, yes. Did you feel that? Did you feel that?
Feel
FEEL.
الأولى.
Okay. It was a really hard peach. It was a really hard peach.
الأولى برضه.
The first one. What do we mean by peach?
PEACH.
Do you know beach? Oh, excellent.
A really
Excellent.
hard peach.
So what does this activity teach the students?
Vowels.
Vowels. Okay.
Long and short vowels.
Long and short vowels. Well done. And it also teaches them what we call the words which have similar sounds, or the minimal birds. Do you know the minimal birds? They are the same two words which have the same spelling, but they are different in one sound, like sheep and ship, beans and beans. So this is what we call minimal birds. But if two words have the same pronunciation, but they are different in meaning, what do we call these words? We call these homophone. We said, what did you say, Mr. Muhammad? Can you repeat the word again?
Monophone.
Monophones, yes. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so okay, actually I have another activity but I'm gonna skip this in order to try to wrap up the session. Also, there's another activity which is bingo. Have you ever played bingo with the students? You can play this game with pronunciation as well. When you ask your students, for example, to like let me try to represent this. So you have, for example, 9 boxes, and you ask them to write words, and these words are with specific sounds. So when you read the word, you ask your students to cross the word, and the first students who crosses words like horizontal or vertical or diagonal will say bingo. Bingo. For example, you give them the words with sounds like bat, cat, fat, and so on. So when you say the word, the students on their sheet of paper should cross. And the first student who has 3 words down or across or diagonal will say bingo. So you can use this bingo game also in activity related to pronunciation. Also, you can use an activity which is about how many words can you hear? How many words can you hear? So you say a sentence and you ask your students, how many words have you heard in this sentence? For example, I've been a teacher for ages. I've been a teacher for ages. How many words are there in the sentence? Can you tell me? I've been a teacher for ages. How many words? I've been a teacher for ages. How many words?
7.
1, 2, 3,
7.
4, 5, and 7. Excellent. Because we consider the contraction here as one word. I've. So it is one word. Right. So it's another activity. This is another phrase that you can use with your students in order to teach them pronunciation as well. Right? Okay. Okay. So this is the last activity that we have today. Telephone number. You can draw a grid like this with numbers, and you have different sounds in words. You have the word pit, pot, put, I'm sorry, part, pit, port, pert, pot, peat, pot, and pat. And each word has a number. Each word has a number, right? And then you, for example, write a number like, for example, 3, 6, 7, and 1. And then you ask your students to say the words that corresponds with this number, right? The matching word with the number. Which word matches with which number? So we said 3, 6, 7, and 1. So we will say like bat,
But,
bird,
beat,
hmm?
but.
Okay?
Number 1, pit.
Fit. And then you practice this, you drill this with your students until they can pronounce the correct words, or they can pronounce the correct vowel in different vowels in different words, right? This is what we call a telephone number, or you can play it in different ways. You can adapt it in whatever the way you like, and you can teach students how to pronounce the correct vowels, how to pronounce the vowels correctly, right? Okay. So this is the one last activity. Who wants to kill a dinosaur? Who wants to kill a dinosaur? This is another game. This is just to recap our session. Okay. Just choose a number. There will be a question, and you need to answer the question. Right? That's all. Huh?
1.
1. Okay. Who is speaking? Who is speaking?
Asma.
Okay, Asma. Number one, you will
تضحية النهاردة.
yes, you will you will answer the question that appears to you. What terminology we use when I say I don't have a sandwich? Hmm. What's the terminology here? What is the term?
I don't have a sandwich.
Hmm. What happens here?
I I don't have sandwich.
So what do we call this? Don't have.
Asma,
Hmm?
illusion.
Maybe yes, excellent. Excellent. Illusion. Contraction as well. Excellent. Very good. Bravo, Yasma. Thank you. So who is ready to
إيه 1-0.
play? Well done, Yasma. Who is ready to play? What about number two? Okay. Number two, what are the three main patterns of intonation? What are the three main patterns of intonation? Can you name them? Let me choose. Who want to answer? Who want to answer? Miss Wafa, I didn't hear your voice today. Miss Wafa. Miss Wafa Hassan.
Sorry, Musad, I'm very sick.
Okay. God bless you. I hope you quick recovery. Okay. What about Noha?
Yes, Ms. Ghada.
Yes.
Falling and rising and falling rising.
Excellent. Well done, Noha. Well done. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's have one last question and then we will end. Number three. Where is the rise and the fall intonation in this sentence? Who can read this sentence? It's an if clause, if conditional. If you have any problems, just contact us. Who can read this?
If you have any
Yes.
problem, just contact us.
Okay, so what's the intonation here? It is
Rise and fall.
excellent. It's rising,
If
then falling. Well done. Well done. Who got this?
أسماء برضه.
Asma. Excellent, Asma. Anyway, thank you very much. Uh, this is the end of our session today. I hope that you have benefited from this and you have a lot of takeaways to your classes concerning pronunciation and how to integrate pronunciation in your lessons. So I would like you to think what kind of activities, what kind of aspects you are going to throw in the bin that you feel that it is not beneficial at all, and what kind of activities, what kind of ideas, what kind of like thoughts use that you can use immediately or in your classes when you go back to your school, and what kind of ideas, what aspects, what activities that you are going to put in the fridge until you can use it in other situations. So I would like to think, I would like you to think and focus on the activities, try to think about them and see if your aspects, if your perspectives about pronunciation have it changed by the end of this session or not? Do you agree that pronunciation should be taught separately or integrated with our lessons? Do you agree that pronunciation is something which is hard or it is now easy and it must be taught to our students? We must raise the students' awareness concerning pronunciation. So you need to think of a lot of ideas and try to reflect and try to think about your performance as a teacher concerning pronunciation. So thank you very much and good night for all of you.
good night.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
I hope that this session today was beneficial and you like you love it. Thank you. اوكي انا اسفه طبعا ان انا قعدتكم مده طويله، بس يعني أنا بحاول اغطي كل الحاجات لان هي بتبقى يعني في حاجات مهمه بحب ان انا اديها لكم كلها. شكرا ليكم.
شكرا مس غادة. Thank you.
شكرا. طب I will send you the form so you can write your attendance. I will send it on the WhatsApp. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night to all of you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.